Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we've got a sovereign citizen Karen crashing out in Judge Webster's courtroom. There are a few hearings to go through, including 3 from her past appearances that she actually brings up in this video, so, to give you the full story, we're starting from the beginning, her very first appearance, which, ironically, was a non-appearance back in September 2024. Let's get started.
Is State versus, did we take care of Tracy Phillips?
No, Your Honor, we have not.
All right. Counsel, that reflects a summons. Does your file reflect the service? Find that Mr. Phillips is not here. 9 o'clock docket, it's 12.
It does, Your Honor. The return on the summons that I have in my file would appear to indicate residential service on a third party, seemingly a roommate, back in June.
All right, I'm going to issue a warrant, not a bench warrant, but a warrant for, as there's already been an attempt to get service, it's been unsuccessful. Perhaps it was successful and blown off. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to set bond at 1,000 cash or surety.
Very good, Your Honor.
Pretty straightforward. If you don't show up to your court date, you risk earning yourself a potential jail sentence. Now let's move on to her next appearance, which she did actually show up for. That hearing took place on January 8th of this year.
We are on the record in 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier for the state. The defendant, Miss Phillips, appears in person and pro se. Let's see. September 4th, the defendant failed to appear. Miss Phillips, I trust you posted that $1,000 cash or surety bond.
Well, yes, I didn't have a choice.
Right. Well, you could have stayed in jail, but that's not a very good choice. All right. We are showing in count 1 that you were driving, the state's alleging you were driving without a tag or an expired tag, November 8th of 23. And then that the vehicle not only had an expired tag, but a plate was on there that wasn't assigned to it.
And Your Honor,
Yes.
with
Amended.
court certification, I am showing that an amended information was filed back in June of 2024.
Okay, let me go off of that one then. Is this the case where she was here and there were allegations of identity theft or something? I remember her name associated with that. That case was dismissed, wasn't it?
Your Honor, I would need to review my notes further, but the state's understanding is that is an unrelated matter.
Unrelated. Okay. All right. Well, Ms. Phillips, there is an amended information, as counsel said, that was filed June 12th of 2024. And that, the official charging document that you're on today, alleges in count 1 that you were on November 8th, 2023 in Butler County operating a motor vehicle on a highway of this state while displayed was a license plate or registration decal other than the one assigned. As charged, this is an unclassified misdemeanor and it carries a fine up to $2,500 and a sentence of 30 days to 6 months. Failure to register, count 2 was dismissed by the state on June 11, 2024. Then in count 3, you're accused of operating that vehicle without insurance or at least being able to provide proof. That is as charged, a B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, there is a $300 fine up to $1,000 and up to 6 months in the county jail. Count 4 alleges that you apparently moved from the address given when you applied for and received your Kansas driver's license, and you failed to notify the Division of Motor Vehicles of the new address within 10 days after moving. This charge is an unclassified misdemeanor, which typically carries a fine up to $500 and a possible sentence up to 30 days. I don't know what your history is. I don't know if
That should have also been dropped, because I brought that in. I did that over the internet.
I'm sorry, what did you bring in?
I dropped that over. I did that over the internet. My change of address, and had brought that in. The date that was on my actual ticket that the officer gave me, I came in on that date. There was no court date. I brought in that change of address then.
Are you going to want an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you going to be able to hire an attorney, or do you need to apply for counsel?
I can try and hire an attorney.
You think you have the means to do so? Okay. Well, if you don't, please get an application. You might take an application with you in case you don't. Like maybe you get out there and you find out that they're more expensive than you thought or something like that. So while you're here in the courthouse, it doesn't hurt to take a form with you. And if you need a court appointed, get that back to me soon. Don't wait till your next court date.
Sure.
Because unfortunately, the next attorney docket traffic date, Destiny, is that April 16th also?
No, Your Honor, that would be March 17th.
Oh, okay. March 17th. You need to be back here March 17th. That's St. Patrick's Day. So March 17th at 9 a.m. with your attorney ready to proceed.
Spoiler alert, on March 17th, she showed up, but her attorney didn't. The sovereign citizen will explain why that happened a bit later in the video.
Next one up is Tracy Phillips. She's pro se.
Okay. We are on the record in 23 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier for the state. Defendant Tracy Phillips appears in person and pro se. Ms. Phillips, this is, of course, not your first appearance. That was back September 4th, and you failed to appear at that hearing. Then you were here January 8th, and you wanted to hire an attorney. You were informed if you were able to hire, you needed to fill out an application, which apparently you did not do.
Not for a public defender, no.
So how do you want to proceed on these 4 traffic charges: driving without tag, driving without tag displayed, driving without insurance, and driving without changing your address or phone or no?
Yeah, I changed my address. I wasn't driving this vehicle. I mean, I drive a company truck.
All right, so you're pleading not guilty. You want this set
Yes,
for
ma'am.
trial?
Yes, I do.
And are you going to have an attorney represent you?
I'm going to try to. I'm trying to find an attorney.
Okay, but you don't want to apply for court appointed, is that right?
No, I don't. Last one threw me under the bus. I prefer not to do that.
Okay, we're going to go to trial at 1:30 on, what's your next trial date, Jen?
May 14th.
May 14th at 1:30. You must be back here. You can either be in person or by Zoom, May 13th or May 14th at 1:30.
Okay.
But with or without counsel, we're going to take this to trial because.
Not a problem.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. You're excused at this time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Heard Judge Webster, with or without her attorney, the trial would move forward at the next hearing. And that brings us to today's video. I showed you those earlier clips because each one gets referenced in what we're about to see, which, trust me, is way more eventful than the first 3 hearings we just watched. So let's jump back in.
Check in with Tracy Phillips. She is a pro se defendant in court security. Now, Ms. Phillips, you're charged, we're not on the record yet, but Ms. Phillips, you're charged with a tag violation, another form of tag violation, no liability insurance, and not changing your address. We are set for trial. Are you wanting to have a trial on that, Ms. Phillips, or do you want to try to talk to the county attorney and come to a resolution? What's your plan on this since you're representing yourself?
I'm sorry, I just assume be done with it. I mean, I can talk to the county attorney. I don't have an issue with that as well. I guess I'm not understanding why you don't have my change of address.
Well,
That
I
was
don't
done
get,
over
I
the
don't
internet.
get that. I don't
Okay.
get that. It goes to Topeka Department of Revenue. It's for your
Well, it
driver's
was-
license.
Yes, well, it was brought in and should have been added to the long time ago when I first got the ticket.
Okay, but it's not like insurance. Well, all right, we'll say that. Right now, we are on the record in 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier appearing for the state. The defendant, Ms. Phillips, appears in person and pro se. Ms. Phillips, I understand that you're wanting to represent yourself on this matter. Is that correct?
Well, I don't have a choice.
Well, you have had the opportunity since November 8th of 23 to either
Yes, ma'am,
hire
I
an
did.
attorney
To
or
hire an
apply-
attorney. Nobody wants to take my case.
All right. Yeah, and if you cannot afford an attorney, you've had
It's
the
not about not affording it. Because I have money to hand to an attorney. Nobody wants to take my case to deal with Butler County, is the problem.
All right. The alternative, if you could not afford it, you could have applied for court appointed. Am I correctly understanding you to say, though, that you could afford it, you just couldn't find an attorney to take the case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right. And so you're going to represent yourself today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are
Is
we
any-
going by common law or admiralty law?